Ancasta, natural healing. Yes, the concept, let me first of all honor the great spirit, uh, my late father, Monsanabala Musamudin Big. He got a brilliant idea, after traveling many times back and forth between the West and Africa. He realized a lot of, stuff are missing around, the West, and thought about, you know, this brilliant idea to give, some alternative to people in the West who don't have access to the natural indigenous healing, recipes and secrets of, other indigenous people. So he thought about, starting something that will kind of, help at the same time, kind of exposing, what nature can do, almost like a way of teaching human how nature can really kind of, be our only solution when it comes to the healing, when it comes to us taking care of ourselves and all of that. So he came up with the concept of Ankasa, which means Ankh in hieroglyphs, which mean life, and then Kasta, meaning Ka will mean like the spirit, and then Asta of the goddess Aishat. Those are, the Greeks we know as Isis, and goddess known for healing and healing powers and healing recipes and all. So that's really the concept. So, the life, and the power of the goddess of healing. First of all, let's kind of honor the people who have been keeping those recipes and those secrets, preserving them, for this long. We can talk about 15,000 old because we're talking about a group of people who are, indigenous, meaning, they in our countries or in our villages we discovered the European ways of doing things like less than what 100 years or 150 years. That's when we discover what the European have. So for all of this time that we've been surviving, from grandpa and great grandparents all the way to now, it's just been like what we've been doing. So the recipes have been actually something, that have been proven to be working. Time tested. All of the things that Ankasa provide, are coming from a long line of healers who, from father to son, from mother to daughter, have been passing it down, and then keeping those recipes. And we grown our own plants. We grown our own plants. We taking care of it. We nurturing it. We put in the love that we need to put in there to make it really be, you know, uh, the, something that will have like a virtue for people to use. So let's talk about at least 15,000 years. If we have to really look into archives and the records, we will be like, okay, it's something like that. First, in Lancaster, we say, bitter is better, because it's just like how in nature or in a human life, we have the tendency of for any animal, if we have to consider human beings are also animals that are kind of a little bit elevated, and all of that. We will consider, the life of the human being or any animal to be a life that kind of is more uh, attracted by things that are easy, things that are sweet, things that taste good. But most of the time, things that taste good and that are easy, that are sweet and all of that are most of the time the things that cause us, the most of the problem. In Africa and in our tradition, the Dogons, even all the way to our food that we eat, we don't eat food for the taste. We eat food for the healing that the food gives us, to the point where everything that goes in the food is already like medicine. And then whether it tastes, bitter or it just doesn't have a taste, we know that whatever we're eating is, healing us. So bitterness has been the thing that every life runs away from. So if every life runs away from bitterness and does not like bitterness, then even any germs, any bacteria, anything that we will have in the body, that is causing the lack of balance. That's kind of causing disharmony in our bodies. Are also possibly are also ready to run away when they see something bitter that's coming in the body. So that's even why in the West, in the Western society, we notice a lot of people have problem with diabetes, problem with sugar, problem with cholesterol, problem with even like the cancer and all of that, because all of those, the agents that are causing all of those sicknesses depend on things that are very sweet and all of that, and then oily and all of that. So in Lancaster, we make sure to just replicate a way of life of a group of people, which is just living for life, but not really living for the taste of life. Any human being knows that who has a car, who has a motorcycle, knows that every now and then they have to change oil. They have to take their cars to check. And same way that you can consider human being to be. When we look in nature, we see that nature has a way of cleansing itself time to time. We have the winter. When the winter is starting, preparing to come, you will see like all of the life, all of the leaves will be fallen to the point that we call that season fall. Everything will be fallen, so that after the winter, new life will come, and all of that. So in the human being body, the intelligence of our ancestors, was that we consume a lot. First of all, mentally, we wake up, we see a lot of things that our brain kind of register to the point where we ourselves, we don't even pay attention, or we're not even aware of all of the things that the brain gets registered. And time to time, we need to kind of, reset, the brain, because that's almost like the central intelligence where like everything happen, all of the commands happen. So with even like someone moving their foot, me moving my neck, me clapping, doing whatever I'm doing, the brain is the one giving all of those orders to my body to do all of that. So technically the brain is the main thing that in our culture we make sure to cleanse, kind of to reset the system and allow it to kind of be moving the way that we want it to be moving. Now in resetting the brain, you're given a chance for the brain to at the same time tell you what's wrong in the body. Because even if anything is wrong in the body, if the brain itself is clouded, is has a lot of blockages and all of that, it does not tell you that you have problem in the organ with this part of your body or anything like that. So once you do, you focus on cleansing the brain, then the brain allow you to to tell you, is allowed to tell you like, okay, you have this problem over here, that your liver needs to be cleansed and all of that. Everything we eat, we know that we eat everything that's dead. Human being cannot just eat things that are alive. We have to eat things that are dead. So already we eating things that are considered to be like a pollution or corruption. So our organs, even though they are prepared to deal with those kind of things, they are engineered to deal with those kind of things. We still have to help the body, because if you change your oil, it's because you don't want your engine to kind of one day just stop working. And then this is really like a big thing in our culture, which is a way of life, because we go for every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, we have to be doing cleansing our organs, cleansing our our body, the body itself, we cleanse it, cleansing our stomach, cleansing our reproductive organs as well, because we all know what we do when it comes to growing up and then becoming a mother, a father, and all of that. We go through a lot, so all of that needs to be cleansed and then reset. But at the same time, in our culture, we have a very big reason why we cleanse the brain mainly, which is we don't want our elders, those who are supposed to be the one transferring the wisdom, transferring the knowledge to the younger generation, who are like the legacy, of the future, to kind of miss the opportunity to be gaining something from the elders, because the elders are having like schizophrenia, dementia, Alzheimer's, and all of those, mental problem blockages in the brain and all of that, because then they lose the memory of everything that they accumulated, in life. They accumulate the knowledge, the wisdom, and all of the things that they accumulate in life that the younger generation is in need of. Once the memory start kind of, losing them, or they start losing their memory, then it's almost like the younger generation is sacrificed. Then we focus more on the brain, and then the brain allow also the body to kind of know what the problem is, and then fix the body at the same time. So it's a way of life. There's not really like any better reason if it's not to consider it a way of life, and that's how human beings supposed to be living. Where like we eat, we do things, and then we take time, take break, and then we cleanse, and then we start again. Ancaster natural healing, the way of life. Cleansing is just the way of life. Being a healer is a very big responsibility for a human life. Any human that decide to be a healer is a human that decide to be at the service of others. And you're not just a healer to heal people's trauma, people's problems, the body, and all of that. You're a healer for nature at the same time, because a healer is supposed to be the biggest environmentalist that you will meet, on this planet. A real healer is a person who knows how to take off the environment first, because the logic for a healer to be able to even take care of someone's physical problem or spiritual problem or energetic problem, or intellectual problem, all of that, or mental problem, have to be a person who already knows how to maintain the harmony within the environment that the patient is supposed to really come and then get the proper healing, get the healing. So we look at that as a way of life. Again, a healer is a person that just choose to live certain way, and that way is just like take care of everything that lives, not just like a human, but anything that lives, because a healer will not depend on artificial medicine. We will have to depend on natural remedies. You will have to depend on things that have been done for a long time, and then I'd still be here, and then still being in activity and all of that. So you may know some techniques, you may know some healing recipes and all of that, but that does not make you a healer yet. It just makes you a practitioner of healing. But being a healer is just a way of life, and you have to be someone who's ready, available, and at the same time dedicated, engaged for restoring the balance wherever it's needed, not just within the human, but also within the environment. So that's why even us going through the training of becoming a healer, first thing, you have to know how to plant. You have to know how to take care of nature. You have to know how to take care of life that is around you, that nature itself kind of made you gets you to really become like the student of nature. So a healer is just like a student of nature.